There's only one rule about asking me questions, and that is there are no rules. I voted against increasing the debt ceiling in the United States. I voted for putting pay-as-you-go limits in place. I voted against the cap and trade bill because I don't think it's going to work. I voted against the health care bill because I don't think it's worked. I voted for the stimulus bill because I saw it as the only way of getting any federal funds, your tax dollars, to return to Western New York State. And all of that has been given to me in naming as one of the most independent members of Congress. Now, everybody loves an independent member of Congress until you are one. And as soon as you are one, as the sun comes up and goes down, there's going to be groups of people who are very, very angry because they're going to say, you're not representing me. Now, I made a statement this summer, and I stand by it. I made the statement that there are times when I must vote against popular opinion if I think my vote will actually help the people that sent me to Washington. That's a very controversial statement to some people. We live in a republic. You hire me to go to Washington and actually read the bills, every single word. And that's what I do. There are 4 things I think about every time I vote. What do I feel about this? What does my own personal experience taught me? What does my life's experience equip me on this issue? 2, is it good or bad, and what do the people in the district think about it? Because obviously, they elected me. I represent them. 3, is it good or bad for the nation? Because my vote in Gowanda has the same impact as my vote for someone living in Sacramento, California. There are many issues, especially national security and homeland security issues, that are national. And lastly, is it constitutional? That's the only promise I ever made anybody. I never made a single campaign promise. I didn't promise to rebuild hospitals. I didn't promise to rebuild roads. I took one promise: to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I take this oath freely without purpose of evasion. It's the only promise I made. And that's how I look at every single vote on the floor of the House. Let me speak just for a minute about the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. I have been very clear, and I continue to be very clear based on serving 24 years in the United States military, that it is wrong. It is strategically wrong, it is financially wrong, it is ethically wrong, it is morally wrong to ask Americans to fight and die for what Afghans will not fight and die for. On Wednesday of this week, in the town of Hornell, a town not much different than Gowanda, we buried a 19-year-old Marine that I helped recruit into active duty. He was killed when a 2,000-pound roadside bomb just outside of a village decimated his vehicle. Now, 3 terrorists can't move a 2,000-pound bomb. His patrol went into that town to do what we call a health and comfort sweep, to try to win the hearts and minds. Every villager in that town knew that bomb was there. Every one of them. And none of them did any but to warn the Americans. We have seen this movie before, and we know the ending. This is a really poorly written sequel. It's $1 trillion. It's thousands of lives. And so I get accused of not supporting the troops. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing you can do to support our troops is to give them a mission at which they can succeed. And if you think we're going to create a Jeffersonian democracy in a country that's been fighting with itself for 3,000 years, you and I have a serious disagreement. Now, those are very provocative statements, and I understand that. And I've said them on the floor of the House in open opposition to the president, who, trust me, is not too happy about that. But I don't work for the president. He's not my boss. You are, individually and collectively, and to a larger extent the people of this country are. We went to war 8 years ago and slashed taxes. We did. You may not have felt it because your taxes weren't cut, because you're at the middle or lower end of the income spectrum. But for someone making $1 million or more, their taxes were cut by a huge percentage. In some cases, by more than half. theory of economics, which really equates to being trickled on. And as a result, the debts we face today didn't happen this year or this 6 months. And so the fight has got to be, what controls can we put in place without taking the train completely off the tracks? Nothing will change. As long as you have to compete against a worker in China making 25 cents a day, we're doomed. Free trade agreements are not free. They have gutted the very core of this country. I will die before I vote for a free trade agreement. I will not do it. And I will be hideously vocal against it.